Hey there, Scott Waters fans. This isn't Scott Waters. Poor man, Scott Waters. Greg Egg here, Blackmore Rules. Listen to that. You know the song? That's not the Scorpions, who rule, by the way. I can't remember. It's on a Various CD here. I'm not sure who's doing this cover. It might be on some tribute to the Scorpions, but really good version of Dark Lady, of course. But thing is, seen all these videos about vinyl and this and that, and I haven't seen one about concert T-shirts and stuff like that, or band T-shirts. And I love watching. It's one of the big fun parts of watching the videos on YouTube is seeing what concert shirt or T-shirt people are wearing. And like I said, to show you what I'm wearing now. Of course, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but Tony Iommi's there somewhere. I don't know. Iommi's the man. I don't know if that's showing up or not. Anyway, let's get on with it here. I'm just gonna. I don't know how many letters to do at a time because it's a fair amount, so I don't want to drag it out very long here. But we'll just start out from A, and I'll see how far I work out and go from there. But this is a really cool shirt. It's got to start with AC/DC, but Let There Be Rock. Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I should have prepared. How about we just throw it on something like that? I can see it better. Cover of Let There Be Rock. I mean, that's one of my favorite album covers. It's got 77 written down there, and totally love that shirt. Nothing on the back, but guess got to swing back and forth and back and forth. Here's a band that I saw at Sweden Rock before, but the Prince of Rock, Water 7 for Parts Unknown, that I know went and saw Accept in Las Vegas or was it Las Vegas? Count 77's nightclub there, and said they were great. The same day that he went to see Accept, I went and saw Airborne in Vancouver. But there's the front, here's the back. Excellent shirt. Really thick too, like the red. If you feel the ink on the back, it's huge, like really thick. Here's one that Scott Waters might like. That's the longest I've ever lined up for a merch table in my life. It's Aerosmith. It was jammed in like sardines, and it was like $45 or whatever it was Canadian, which is about 100 US, but or is it the other way around? But anyway, and they were quite good. I gotta admit, I'm not a fan of their Love in an Elevator stuff that much, but when they did the old stuff, they were great. Speaking of Airborne, since we're in the A's, here's the Airborne concert shirt I picked up from the Commodore in Vancouver. Great venue to see a band. Anyone in Canada knows about the Commodore. But that's a really excellent shirt too. Canadian tour, the big dates. I really should have done this better. This one I just picked up cheap in Nova Scotia or something like that, or maybe it was Halifax, Nova Scotia. But yeah, it was like $5 or whatever it was, but a nice Airborne shirt, nothing on the back. And then a band I've seen a number of times, April Wine. Wish there was more on the front than that, but I guess they're trying to do the classy look. But the back is in honor of a great album, Greatest Hits Live 2003. If you can ever get that live album from them, it's excellent. The sound quality is excellent. Song selection is pretty darn good. Oh yeah, it still has New York and Buffalo and so on there, so it's not just a Canadian tour. But they played like Cranbrook, Courtenay, like small towns in Canada, which is cool. Excellent band. What do we got here? Oh yes, here's for any European listeners. Axl Rudy Pell, Circle of the Oath, an album from a couple of years ago. Saw him live at Sweden Rock. He was fantastic. Like closest thing to watching Richie Blackmore, I guess, or Rainbow. Like his stuff is where Long Live Rock and Roll ended, they carried on with that type of rainbow, I think. But that 2012 tour, you got Hanover. Like, it's cool when it's got all the European names or whatever you want to call them. But in Berlin, Hamburg, Wacken, bottom one. Never gone to Wacken. Oh, there's Salzburg. Sweden Rock, totally excellent rock festival. My wife's gone twice, and she's not really a rocker, but they still had Journey and Foreigner and this and that, and it was clean, really friendly. It was unreal. Here's another Axl Rudy Pell shirt. Another Circle of the Oath. And he always has really cool drawings and this and that, like purple and dark blue and white and stuff like that. Now here we go. 2012 Sweden Rock Festival, Salzburg. And I've been going to the Fat Farm lately, so maybe I'll actually be able to fit into that one of these days again. What do we got here? Ah, yes. If you're from Canada, you gotta know BTO. Well, this is the Bachman and Turner. They came to Prince George here, BC, Canada, and it's quite good, must say. I was just listening to a version of Four Wheel Drive, an old live version from, they did a concert in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I think it was from that city, but they did it from a prison inside there, and the inmates are watching, and wasn't the most excitable crowd, but I thought it was kind of neat that they did that for them, and sound quality was really raw, and they did Four Wheel Drive, which is one of the best songs in rock history. Big North American tour dates. Gotta have tour dates on the back. Well, this doesn't have tour dates, though, of course, just has names of songs. But still, nice little drawing of North America on there, if you can see it. I'm going to do this differently next time. I'm not getting very far here. Well, you got the standard Beatles shirt, of course, but I love this song, Hard Day's Night and Help. Like, the early Beatles, I love. I'd love to hear a whole hard rock album of, like, I know I've heard a few songs done, like Motorhead covering them or whatever, but I'd love a whole album like with Twist and Shout and Roll Over Beethoven, all that type of stuff. Hard Day's Night, Help. The version of Help by Deep Purple a long time ago, back in the pre-Ian Gillan era, was too slow, and I think the Scorpions did a slow version too. It's got to be fast. Here's for the Power Punk of Paparola people, punk rockers, the Black Halos in Vancouver. Live Without Control, one of their albums, but if you love the Ramones and you love true punk, they're not posers, they're just true punk rock, really melodic, even kind of like a hard rock thing. They're not a speedy double bass punk style, they're more hard rock, but they're great. Maybe I'll only do A to B because this is taking so long. I didn't see this tour, but this is just the Black Sabbath tour, and I'm thinking of going to Vancouver to see Black Sabbath in a few months. But this is the tour shirt they had from 2013. Coming to Vancouver in January, but a few days before that, Cauldron and Enforcer playing in a small club. And I would love to see that. So, like, within a few days, get to see bands like that. Maybe we'll only go to the Bees. Or maybe we'll stop here. That's where we'll stop. That's good enough. So anyway, that's where we'll end, is with Black Sabbath, and we'll carry on another day, but we've got to make sure we're wearing the BC Lions hat. Playoff fever. But anyway, since the legendary Scott Waters lives in New Mexico, I wonder if the weather's the same there as it is here. So let's take a look. Guess what? New Mexico, it's pouring snow. Smaller flakes, but the wind is about, I don't know, 40 miles an hour type thing if you want to use miles, but I can't even step out there. But anyway, that's enough of that. So guess that does it for the big video. And always got to end off with this, just like Scott Waters does, with don't forget. Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed it, and I hope some others show their concert t-shirts. I love seeing concert t-shirts. That's my biggest thing. That's just as exciting as being at concerts, going to that merch table. So Anyway, I guess thanks for listening, and don't forget, slower traffic, keep right!